It's episode 4 of the Toadstool Boardroom for the week of June 22nd, 2022. I'm Logan Plant, joined today by Odell Harmon Jr.
What's up, everybody?
And Chris Shriver.
Greetings.
And there's some tense energy in the air today. We got into some arguments this week over the best Mario sports games after the launch of Mario Strikers Battle League. That's going to be a big topic coming up later in the show. But we're going to start with Nintendo's latest Direct. Maybe not the one everyone was waiting for, but a Direct nonetheless. A Xenoblade Chronicles 3 focused presentation. It was about a 25-minute deep dive on this game, which is coming out on July 29th, so just over a month away. They went deep into the combat, exploration, the backstory of the main characters. A few new things coming to this game. I thought that the Ouroboros, I think is how you pronounce it, looked cool, which is where two characters kind of merged together to turn into this super anime mech.
Pacific Rim.
Yeah, yeah, it doesn't look a lot like that, but as we've discussed on this show, none of us have played a ton of the Xenoblade series, so we're not the number one experts on this, but we still have some thoughts on this presentation as a whole. Odell, specifically, you were telling me you have some opinions.
Oh, yeah, no, so first of all, the story looks like, you know, you're some anime trash slice of life thing, and I know I am a big fan of like trashy slice of life animes. Like they do it for me. That's my jam.
Okay, so trash wasn't a slam.
Oh no,
yeah, it wasn't. Yeah. It was not a slam.
Okay.
It's a term of endearment.
like I would never say, oh, this is high art in the form of writing, but I love it regardless.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, and see, so the interesting thing about this game is, on paper, it makes so much sense. It has combat that's reminiscent of Final Fantasy VII Remake. It's got the Ouroboros.
Ooh, I already really disagree with that.
No,
I don't think so at all.
I mean, it looks like... I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying, like, mechanically, you know, how the characters keep fighting, doing their thing. You can switch between them. There's 6. Like, you know, it's an active RPG that still takes strategy and switching to be successful. It has the Ouroboros, which looks like Pacific Rim, which is a great movie. I love that. And, like, the world does look interesting, but we talked about, you know, for not excusing Nintendo. In your trailer that you show off this game, it is clipping. There's performance issues in the trailer meant to showcase the best of this game. And I'm just at the point where, like, I would really like to play Xenoblade Chronicles 3, but I refuse to take part in an RPG of this size that's going to have performance issues. Like, that's inexcusable at this point. Which
Chris,
is sad because this looks extremely
point.
Interesting.
No, I've been sitting all day. My back hurts.
Okay. I thought you were like gearing up to like have a TED talk or something.
Nope,
about Xenoblade
not even a little bit.
Okay.
Like,
Sorry,
its class system was very impressive because I'm not the biggest fan of class systems in the RPGs, but I like the take they're going with this, where, you know, you can switch classes, you can max out things, you know, add them to the other classes. That's not new. But then if you do it right, you can create fusion skills and like super in between classes. I was like, okay, that gives me incentive to actually switch classes instead of being like, I'm level 30 in this class. Why the hell would I ever start a new one?
Yeah, I thought that the gameplay, I don't know. Okay, so I played a little bit of Xenoblade 1 and a lot of Chronicles X on Wii U. That's where most of my experience is in the series. I've never been big on the combat, which is why I find the series so hard to get into. And you bring up Final Fantasy VII Remake. I was going to bring that up kind of for an opposite reason, where I think that is the only JRPG with real-time combat I have ever enjoyed. I think that turn-based combat in JRPGs are great, and they should not go away from that. I think most real-time systems, you end up just sitting there and watching your characters perform a lot of moves most of the time. I find the UI in Xenoblade incredibly overwhelming. I think, Chris, you even sent a screenshot to our chat just of numbers and text and symbols all over the place.
It is a statistical nightmare. There are a lot of games that I refuse to play that have this problem or have this going on. And like, if you're into it, like, shout out to you. You know, even on the PlayStation, like, you look at Bloodborne or the Dark Souls games and things like that. Anytime you get into a game that has text that requires a 4K screen because it's so small and there's so much of it. Like it's too much for me. This game seems to have a lot of that, but not only is it that, it's a lot of just like animations going on behind it. I have a lot of respect for the people that play these games and can get into them. I was talking to a few of my friends that are into the Xenoblade franchise, and even they were watching the Direct and going, wow, there's a lot happening here compared to some of the other games that we've played here. As someone who, obviously it's the third entry in the series, you can play all of them on Switch, except for the Wii U release.
X.
Yeah, X, thank you. It is not a game that I feel like is an invitation to this franchise, right? Like, this seems like a game that is like, you better be a franchise veteran, and this better be one of the only things that you play. At least, as someone who's never played it before, like, that's how it came off to me, where I was like, this is so much that I feel like if I played this, I wouldn't be able to play anything else, which is the case for most JRPGs.
Yeah, that's true.
But I will say, like, for fans of the series, it seems like it is an incredibly deep, incredibly robust upgrade system. There are tons of characters that you can have in your party. I think it's 6 people you can have, or up to 6 in your party at any given
party
have
members,
6, you have
plus
up
the
to
7th
7.
warrior who can join you that can rotate, and you unlock more throughout the game.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of meat on the bone for people that like these games, for sure. And I'm excited for them. I hope this game does well and reviews well. I don't see it entering my Nintendo Switch anytime soon, though.
This is a game, honestly. Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I think that, like, I want to make it clear, we're not saying this game looks bad. We're just saying that it's not for us. I think of all the Nintendo series, Xenoblade is the most daunting to get into.
Yeah.
Because it has got such complicated systems, and I think it's cool to see Nintendo double and triple down on a series that is more niche as a part of their catalog. It's this massive JRPG, and the fans do seem to be eating it up. I did take some time to just scroll through Twitter, scroll through the comments on the Direct itself, and I think fans seem very happy with this presentation overall. Yeah. I see a lot of people saying that it's combining elements of the combat from all the Xenoblade games kind of into a new system, and see, that's the things that we don't know enough to to make a judgment call on. But yeah, I think that, and also, yeah, there was a little bit of frame rate issues, but overall, for running on the Switch, I think this game looks great. I think that I'm not in love with the character models, but I think that the world itself and the enemy design looks fantastic. And kind of like how Monster Hunter Rise is kind of punching above its weight in terms of hardware, I feel that way from what we've seen of this game too. So visually, I was impressed with what we saw in the presentation.
Yeah, I think the vistas that they've shown off are my friend James actually took a screenshot of like what are the last things that they showed for the Direct. And it was like, we'll see you on July 29th or whatever. And we were all just kind of like, I can't believe this was taken on a Switch, like this screenshot, because it is like there are moments in it that you can tell are going to be very beautiful. I think the mechs look awesome. Definitely have that like Neon Genesis Evangelion vibe for sure. Or Darling in the Franxx, it reminded me of that as well. I hope it is stable, because it just based off of how much is going on screen from what we saw. It's just a lot for the Switch to keep up with.
And I talked about this before on the show. I really think this game does not deserve to be on the Switch. The Switch is going to be ultimately the thing that kills this game in my mind, because a thing for JRPGs, for me, especially, I enjoy feeling lived in the world. Your Ni no Kuni's, Final Fantasy VII Remake. I love those moments where I can just walk and be like, ooh, I'm in the world. And if this was like, PS2 era, this would be fine. I could play it and feel nostalgic, but we're not. And it's just what JRPGs mean to me and how I play them. Like, I could never, imagine if Final Fantasy VII Remake had frame rate issues in battle. Like, you got the parts of Midgard, and it was like, whoa, too much going on. I can't handle this, so it looks spotty. And to me, a JRPG can only have so much of that. It can't be a significant part of the game. Like there's nothing you can say that makes me believe the Switch will be able to handle this perfectly. I would say there are some vistas that will look good by Switch standards, but nothing in this game will look good by current video game standards. And I think that's just going to hold it back, especially if the battle system, just has bad frame rates, clips, or just, breaks down mid battle. But I don't know. We'll see.
I do know that 2 struggled with frame rate issues from a couple people I know that played it, but that was a launchier game. So we'll see how the performance is for this one when it comes out. Hopefully we can get someone on the show who has played the series to talk about this at release or close to it, because I think that'd be good to have someone on who is an expert in the series. But I do want to talk about, if this is it for the month of June for Nintendo, how do we feel? They have not yet announced a Direct. We still have rumors for the next week, the 29th, but as of now, that's not a thing. So, Chris, how are you feeling about Nintendo's presence this month in both games announced in their own presentations, which was just this, and outside of it?
Dead inside. No. It's a bummer, right? Like, even though Nintendo has not been granted we haven't had E3, but like hasn't been, quote, a part of E3. They've always, in the past couple of years, they always happen to drop a Direct like in that same week. So there was always something to look forward to. Not having that, especially with how light the other conferences were this year, or at least for content for me, like there weren't a lot of games that I saw that I was super interested in on other platforms. It's definitely a bummer. That being said, I am kind of enjoying catching up on a ton of these like indie titles that I haven't been able to play and haven't, they've just like, I bought them on Switch whenever they've gone on sale, and I didn't know how long Hollow Knight was when I started it. I'm 40 hours in or 35 hours in. Yeah. So I'm getting there, but if we had a ton of titles either here now or coming, I would be way more stressed out of like, God, I'm never going to finish Hollow Knight. Like, I actually feel like I'm going to do it, which is cool. I hope we get something before. I mean, usually the time frame is September, right? Once a quarter is like when we tend to get directs. I don't think it's going to be that long, but I mean, as we've said on previous episodes, we kind of know what the slate is up until that time of year. And that Direct is probably going to be more Nintendo Switch Online focused anyway, because like you said, that's when the renewals come up for all those people that signed up. So yeah, I mean, it's definitely a bummer. Hopefully we get something soon.
Yeah, I think that we'll definitely get at the very least, before September, Splatoon 3 will get its own Direct, similar to this one. That'll be 20 minutes just about that game. But I guess personally, I'm just frustrated with the lack of communication. I feel like if they announced at the start of this month, hey, here's what we're doing. If you want to, games coming to Switch, watch these presentations and these, and then we're focusing on Xenoblade in the second half of the month. I think that would have been nice. Instead, I think we all assumed, yep, we're going to get a full-sized 40-minute E3-type Direct, and for them to just totally be absent from the conversation has been a bummer. We have gotten some cool things. We do know that Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII, the remake of the PSP game, is coming to Switch, so that's great. But in terms of Nintendo games, it's just been a lack, and that has been a disappointment in a month that I feel they're usually the highlight of. Odell, what are your thoughts?
Y'all pretty much summed it up. I'm bummed. I'm sad. Like, I thought the other showcases were lackluster overall. Somewhere in the neighborhood of like a C+. So I was waiting because Nintendo has that, that it's almost like Disney. That magical ability to just say one thing, just to know this one movie game is coming, and you're just like, that's all I needed.
Yep.
That's all I needed. And so I was just waiting for that. Oh yeah, getting Call of Duty, that's cool. Oh yeah, Starfield, yeah, And I was waiting for like the return of Donkey Kong. Whoa! The sparks go off. So if they're truly not gonna do a overall Nintendo Direct, the only thing I can really look forward to is like a Pokemon Direct again. Maybe they announce the name of the region, maybe some more information, or fingers crossed, maybe we're still getting that Switch 2 announcement. There's gonna be like, here it is, there it is, bam.
Not getting that.
I know.
Here's what I'll say. if the Fire, I think that I'm tired of the speculation. I said that last week. I'm tired of the leaks. Everyone acting like they know what's going on. You can just wait for it to come. But if you want me, who has zero insider knowledge, to just look at the clues and tell you what I think, I still think next week seems legitimate for two reasons. One, that Fire Emblem game leaked. They have a Fire Emblem game coming out on Friday. Not announcing a next mainline game right before the spinoff makes sense to me. Give that just its first weekend for have that first big week of sales before you announce the next Fire Emblem. Number two, on the movie side, I think that the Mario movie trailer will debut in the next Minions movie, which is Illumination's next movie, which comes out next Friday. I think Nintendo has really enjoyed having the first word on everything in the Mario movie. We got the casting announcement within a Nintendo Direct. I think we'll get the first Mario movie trailer within a Nintendo Direct, which, if you want to beat the movie, has to be next week. So that's what I think. I think that next week does make a lot of sense. Or is Minions 2 weeks away? I don't remember the exact date. I know it's early July.
I don't remember the
It was
exact.
already out.
We got to look up this date.
I don't think it's out yet. The only reason I disagree with you, Logan, about the Mario movie, at least. Oh yeah, it looks like it is out, or it's
July
out,
1st,
or it's out
Friday.
today. It might.
It's
be
out July 1st,
Oh,
which is next Friday.
The Regal by me is showing it.
Is that pre-order?
Oh, June
tickets?
30th. I'm sorry, you're right. June 30th. You're right.
Yeah.
The only reason I disagree with you is the Mario movie was delayed.
That's true.
And I don't know that they need to show it yet. Like, I think
it was going to be December, but now it's spring.
Yeah, especially like a kids movie. They don't tend to drag those out too far. Like, as far, you might get like a teaser and then you get like a trailer, and that's usually, kind of it for kids movies. Because I think part of the reason is because when they do show it in theaters and kids are like, I want to watch it now. And it's like, you can't. That's not how this works.
Yeah.
But I don't know. We'll see.
Yep, so we'll see. Hopefully a Direct next week. If not, it'll come eventually. And there's a ton of exciting stuff to play. Like Fall Guys has launched on Switch. It's free to play. This came out on PlayStation August of 2020, launched into PS Plus. This is the 60-player battle royale that's like racing, game shows, competitions. I always think they feel like Survivor challenges. If anybody watches Survivor,
Yep.
That's totally what they are, but with up to 60 people. And this is free to download now. It's a total relaunch. They're calling it Season 1 again. It's on Switch, Xbox, PS4, PS5. If you owned the PS Plus version, if you never even paid for this game, you get the first season's Battle Pass for free, which usually runs $10. But I'm super into Fall Guys. I've put over like 200 hours into the PlayStation version over the last 2 years. This is like the main thing I play online with my friends, especially during the peak pandemic when we weren't doing much else. So I played a ton of this game. I played the Nintendo Switch version. It is mostly functional. It has some performance issues. So on PlayStation 5, it runs at 60 FPS. I've been very used to that. On Switch, it runs at 30, but the other characters are operating at like 20 FPS. Like, they are chugging. Like, so your character runs smooth at 30, but then everybody else is like kind of glitching alongside you. It's definitely playable, but if you have any other platform, it's also on Epic Games Store today. I would play it anywhere else but Switch, but it has been fun to try out on Switch. There's cross-play, cross-progression full. So I was playing on Switch, bought a costume. That costume was there on my PlayStation version, like you'd expect from a game like this. So excited that it's here. I love Fall Guys. Chris, you were telling me earlier that you haven't played since August of 2020. Are you jumping back in?
Probably not. Probably not.
There's too much to play.
There's too much to play, and I enjoyed Fall Guys for what it was, but that is also one of those games that I think the diehards of it are probably so good now because it's been out for so long, and I know they rotate the mini games, but that it's like there's almost no chance of winning. I don't think I've ever actually won a Fall Guys game, and I played like pretty constantly when it came out. At least for those first 2 weeks, my friends and I were playing it pretty much every day. And yeah, Hollow Knight's making me feel defeated enough. I was actually thinking about this today, like, what is going to be the game I play when I'm done this? And I think it needs to be something that's like stupid easy just to make myself feel better. Fall Guys isn't that game.
To speak to that for just a second, I don't think that's true, especially right now. There's so many new people jumping in. You can tell because there's beans that have no clothes, are just wearing pink, and their nameplates say rookie. There's like half the lobbies are filled with new people right now.
Oh, wow.
I know a ton of people who don't have PlayStation that are jumping in for the first time. My mom is playing Fall Guys, and she texted me this morning, and she's like, I just got 5th place in the finale. So,
wow.
And you can do it. You can make it to the end at least. I think like it's tough to put away a finale if you've got someone like me in there who's played this game religiously for a few years. But getting to the finale will usually work out. And there's so much randomness in like the team games. Like if you get paired with a couple really good people, you can float through on the team game. So if you were going to jump back into it, now is the time to try it because there's a lot of new people jumping back in. It was big on social media again on Tuesday when it went up for the first time, free to play. So yeah, I recommend trying it out. How about you, Odell? What's your experience with Fall Guys?
I definitely played it for like a month straight, and then like sporadically from there when it first came out. But I am definitely gonna play it on the Switch because me and my friend Chris, shout out to Chris, not Chris Schreiber, but my other friend Chris. So we have this thing where like occasionally we play Apex Legends a lot, but occasionally we'll be like, you know what? Today's a Switch day. And we'll play Apex Legends on the Switch. One, because no one really plays it there. So everyone who plays it there is usually like a kid or rookie or someone who's just bad at the game. But like it's okay because the game runs so poorly that it's still a challenge. It is like it's a fun thing of fighting people, but also fighting the game itself. Like it's just somehow fun. I can't explain it. Like, and so me and him were like, okay, we're gonna do the same thing, but now with Fall Guys. We're gonna be like, let's just get in the same lobby somehow and just have a horrible experience that goes from bad to fun. Like it's so bad it starts to be fun. So I'm like, Chris, part of the show, Chris, you should definitely do it because that's what we're going to be doing. And I'm sure you'll find fun in that too.
It's definitely competent on Switch. I have won a few games on Switch already. It does not feel like you're fighting the game really at all, except for the rumble. Oh my gosh. Like on PlayStation in Fall Guys, when you like fall a long way and hit the ground, there's like a very slight rumble. In Switch, you do the same exact action. It like screams at you. It's like, like
oh really?
If you have the Joy-Con on the Switch or in the grip, like it rumbles your hand shakes. It shakes so incredibly hard. You remember NBA Playgrounds did that? Its rumble was insane. It was like the second game I bought on Switch, and the rumble was super intense. I've not played a game where the rumble is that extreme until Fall Guys, but you can't go to the controller mapping and turn rumble off, which I did on Switch because it is distracting. Like, wow. I have no idea why it's so extreme. There's also some matchmaking issues in the first day. Like on Switch, I couldn't invite anyone to my lobby. Like the invite button on the social tab wasn't even showing up. But on PlayStation, I could invite my friends on Switch to my lobby. It was super strange. So there's definitely some server issues with crossplay. Just because, I mean, they're having a huge volume of people playing, but hopefully that'll get ironed out.
What is the process of connecting all your accounts?
Epic Games. You need an Epic Games account to log in.
Okay.
Yep. And then you can invite friends. Like you just hit minus or select to open up the social tab, and then you'll see all your Epic friends there or your friends on that platform, and you can invite them from there. It's super easy.
Okay.
So, yeah, recommend it.
I just realized there's 3 of us, so we should all play Fall Guys together on Switch.
Yes, we should.
But also do a couple of rounds of Apex Legends on Switch.
Chris is installing Fall Guys on Switch.
Right. At least on the light. The OLED's in the living room.
He recently revealed to us that all he uses the Switch Lite for is to browse the eShop. I really loved that.
Oh, my privileged life.
Just whip it out during the podcast. Install a game. I love it. But yeah, Fall Guys is no joke in my like top 15 games of all time ranking.
Really?
Yeah. It's like there's these games where you're like, you dream of them when you're a kid. And you're like, if a game like this existed, I would play it to death. Fall Guys is that game for me. Because I always found the Battle Royale genre super intriguing. I just don't like shooters very much.
Yeah.
And so many battle royales are shooters. So when I was always like, man, a platforming battle royale where you race to the end of a goal would be so much fun. And then Fall Guys is that. I said I love Survivor. It's like my favorite TV show. These feel like Survivor challenges. There's also serious Monkey Ball vibes in Fall Guys. And Monkey Ball, like the first 2 games, are some of my favorite games of all time. So it's like Fall Guys. I hate it when people say this. It does feel like it was made for me. I hate that saying, but I'll use it here for Fall Guys. I feel like Fall Guys was made for me and people like me. So super happy it finally made it to Switch. But let's move on to our final topic of the day. It could get heated in here. This is going to be the last time we have a long, in-depth conversation about Mario Strikers Battle League. It's the 3rd week in a row we're talking about it. We had initial impressions, some more negative impressions last week based on the multiplayer. Now here on week 3 of the game, the online season has started. The Strikers Club League Season 1 is underway. And Chris is very mad at this game.
I keep thinking I'm done with this game, and then I'm not, but I really think I might be done with this game. I did manage, so we have a friend of the show, our friend John, who is a software developer, went through and wrote a Python script that basically you go through, well, this is originally how it started. He wanted to figure out what was the specific build that, if you wanted like a striker with like 17 shooting ability and like, 17 technique or whatever, you could plug it into this program and it would spit out, okay, you can get Mario to wear this gear and you'll have that set up. And then he went deeper and then he was like, all right, now you need this many strikers and this many defenders and like this is what their stats need to be and like this is how you build the perfect team. And I was like, okay. And I did that. And I listened to him, and he was right. He's a very smart man. And then I was able to beat all but the final championship in this game. And I'm convinced that it is not humanly possible for any like single individual to beat this game. And if you're going to sit there, Logan, and you're going to tell me that you did it, you're a liar. I know you're a liar.
I did do it.
There's no way you did this.
Actually, I don't want to. I'm not trying to dunk on anyone. I thought that the last cup of the Galactic mode was the easiest.
Was the easiest cup? Yeah, okay.
I thought that the earlier ones were like the strength one, where they just knock you over and you get back up like 20 seconds later. I thought those ones were brutal. And then when you get to the all-arounders at the end, I think that, I beat it on my first try. But I know what you're saying, because they react faster than any human could.
They really do. And not only that, but like they consistently, and this is my biggest problem with this game and playing it single player, is that my team will consistently not be in position for me to be able to pass to literally any of them. And if I don't have that one person just like in a pocket that I can pass the ball to and then, score a goal, there's no hope for me. Whereas the other team, it looks like they're playing volleyball. Like they are literally lobbing the ball in the air back and forth for a good 5 to 10 seconds, and then they'll score a goal. And I'm like, what am I supposed to do with that? Now I just go around and tackle people, and I'm just like, if they hit me with items, I don't even care. Like, I don't know what to do at this point.
Yeah, the Galactic mode is not fun. It is not, like, I appreciate that there's a harder difficulty. They're too good.
It's broken. Like, Let's
talk about the online for just a little bit, because you've got this friend who's gone through and is digging into the meta, and I was super excited to jump into the club mode, and really compete, only to find out none of it really matters. What do I mean by that? I mean that it keeps track of your record, but your record's pretty meaningless. All that matters in the online club mode is how many points you score. You get 6 points, I think, for winning a match, 2 points for a draw, and 1 point for losing. So even when you lose, you are still contributing towards your club's goal, which I get it. This was never going to be like FIFA, where it's like, no, you got to pay $1,000 and win every match, and then you'll be the top club. They want everyone to just have fun and keep playing online, but it just comes down to volume, where if you play more matches than the other people in your division, you will move up the ranks.
Yeah.
All that matters is volume. The top team right now on the worldwide leaderboards has played like 1,000 matches in like 2 days. And it's like, I think this game's a lot of fun. I'm still have not gone to the dark side on this game. But it's not my primary game. It's like, I got the Mariners game on. I'm going to pull out the Switch and play 3 or 4 Toadstool FC matches. And it's fun, but it's never going to be to the point where I'm like, yep, we have 900 points. We're top of the world. It's just not going to be that. So it's like, I'm just playing with the characters I like and in the gear that I think looks cool. And I still think that gameplay matters way more than gear. I know there's a meta with the gear, but I'm beating teams in the meta just using whatever crap I'm running out there. I think there's a few super easy, cheesy ways to score goals that work like 80% of the time. And I just do that, and I'm scoring like 10 goals a game. And yeah, so I'm just playing with the characters I like. But I'm just disappointed in how it all works. From the multiplayer, only being able to meet up with one, to all that matters really being how many matches you play. For a game that has almost no online content, for the online to be this weird, I wouldn't even say bare bones. I would just say this weird in how you play it.
Yeah.
It is a disappointment.
I think what the biggest shame of it all is like the highs in this game are so high. Like when you have a game, like you're in a match that like is either going really well or like, is really tense and you like manage to win like at the very end, like it just feels really good. And like if you're playing against an opponent that is of equal skill level or whatever, it is satisfying. It's just I feel like the only way that you can do that is doing it online, because if you do that normal cup mode, it's too easy, and then galaxy mode is just get it out of here. I don't want it.
Odell, you been putting any more time in?
So there's just been a complete failure to launch for me. Like I've been trying to get good for you guys, and it's just been one of those games. Okay, Logan, earlier you said, how, you had that image in your head when you're a kid and, Fall Guys was that game for you. I'm having that horrible, horrible, horrible thing where, like, I built this game to be something up in my mind that it's not.
Yeah.
And every time I play, I'm just like, this is not what I want from this game.
Or is it because of the technical aspect? Like we kind of talked about last week, how this is a hard game to get into and you maybe want something more arcadey and fun to just pick up and play.
Yeah, because I had a friend come over and the one that I used to play back in the day, because he hasn't got it, and we tried playing together, and it just the magic wasn't there. And I know, like you, I don't want to use the word, but it just we both were like, oh yeah, let's, and it just it wasn't there. Like, remember how you said you didn't want to teach your friend it, but I haven't really learned it myself, so we're both like, okay, let's learn it. And we're like 3 matches in, and we're both just like, let's play something else.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I really, really like this game. I don't know if I love it. I really like it. But the more I'm reflecting on the last month, I was granted a beautiful opportunity where I got this game to write a walkthrough for it. So I had to get good. Where you guys you have no reason to put in the effort if you don't feel like it.
Right.
I was at a point where I got this thing like 10 days before launch, and I was like, okay, I get to spend my work time getting good at this game. And now that I've gotten to that point, I think it's just a blast. I love playing this game. I think it's addicting to just keep hit and play again in the online mode. But I totally hear where pretty much everyone I know that has this game is coming from. You guys both say it. My friend who's a huge Strikers fan says it. Another friend who likes Mario Kart and likes Fall Guys doesn't like this game. He picked it up. He was excited. Doesn't like it. Like, it's so complex, which is surprising to see in a Nintendo sports game.
Yeah, it's just so much of an ask. Like, for the type of game that it is and the meager amount of content that is there, it is such an ask to get people to like, it'll click after 30 hours. It's like, all right.
Which I hate that too. That's my least favorite gaming cliche.
Yeah. Yep. I'm not having it.
You know what? Because really me and my friend were actually talking about this. What would have made this game really shine? Like, have y'all guys ever played the fighting games where, like, you have the fighting game challenges where it's like Street Fighter's like, do a Hadouken. Okay, do a jump kick into a Hadouken. Now do this. I wish this game had a mode like this. Like, pass, score, goal. Like, dribble the ball, tackle into this. I wish
like
it
a
had
mission
that,
mode.
yeah, like a training mode that was like, do the basics, not do the basic combos, not do more advanced. Because I feel like there's so much I'm missing. Like I can tell it's there, but there's no way I'm gonna just naturally, organically come across stuff like that.
Yeah, like when people were talking about, oh, well, you just lob the ball off the wall to yourself and then score. I was like, what? Like,
Yeah,
I still
I do
haven't
that all
figured
the
out how
time.
to do it. Yeah, I have no idea how to do it.
I was just going to say, yeah, the easiest way to score goals is to get someone who's on the top side of the box, and then you maneuver to the bottom side of the box. You hold ZL and Y, you aim the reticle at that person. Right when you let go, you hold A, and then you release A right when the ball gets to them while pointing to the top left of the goal. And it goes in every time. But
Wow, it's super easy.
Yeah, it's super easy.
Why didn't I think of that?
Yeah, come on, Chris. Yeah. So we are debuting kind of a new segment here on the Toadstool Boardroom. I really wanted to do this thing where every time a new entry in a series comes out, we place it within the pantheon of that series. We don't have a name for this yet. I don't really know. We should come up with one. But for now, we're going to place Mario Strikers Battle League within the Mario Strikers series, and then we're going to have kind of a larger discussion about the Mario Sports sub-series as a whole. But in the future, like, we'll do this for Zelda at some point, where we rank all the Zelda games. So when Breath of the Wild 2 does finally come out, we have this pre-made list ready to go to place in. We'll do it with Pokemon probably next, since that's coming out this November. So yeah, that's how we're going to do this. So starting out with something I didn't think was going to have much contention, but it kind of has turned into that. So let's start just with Strikers. We have Super Mario Strikers from the GameCube, Mario Strikers Charged on the Wii, and now Mario Strikers Battle League. Yesterday, the three of us sat down and hashed out where every game places within its individual sub-series. And among Strikers, we decided that the GameCube Super Mario Strikers is better than Mario Strikers Charged on the Wii. I don't know if that's a debatable thing out in the public. I feel like I know people who like Charged more, but I guess I attribute that to the Wii being more popular and people just not playing the original and just having the Wii version. But now, live here on the show, we have to discuss where Battle League fits in, and I have a feeling I know what you guys are going to say.
Like, I feel like it's last for me, but I also can recognize that might not be fair. I feel like I haven't given it its full breadth of dissection, but at the same time, 2 were just instantly fun out the gate, and this one, I'm just saying, just because it's not doesn't mean it's bad, but doesn't help it either.
Yeah, it's the fun factor for me, which is like such a cheap out. For as much time as I've put into this, I've been like visibly upset playing it more than I have been like happy to be playing it. 2 things. Last night, I wasn't going to tell the story, but now I'm going to. Last night,
I was hoping you would.
I'm in bed. Jess is next to me, like trying to fall asleep, and she kept. Apparently, like every time I was getting stressed out, I would like tense up. And she finally rolled over and was like, "What the hell are you doing?" And I was like, "I'm playing Mario Strikers." Why? She's like, "I can feel your hands start to clench every single time you get stressed. Like, you either need to play something else or you need to get out of bed." I ended up playing Hollow Knight and I got out of bed anyway because I was doing it with that too. But the other thing,
You gotta just play some Animal Crossing or something, man.
I know.
You gotta just chill out.
Yeah, I need something, more passive. The other thing was, I have the Switch grip for the OLED. There's a little, I forget which one it is, Satisfy. There's a little clip that goes on the top of it. It's not like the standard build Switch ones.
Uh-huh.
I found that, like, when I would get mad, I'd be, for those on the video, I'd be, like, holding the Switch, and I go, oh, and, like, I'd shake it whenever something happened. Well, I was sitting at my desk yesterday morning playing, and I did that, and no lie, the clip flew off, and the Switch flew in the air. I dropped the grips and caught the Switch in the air. Nice. It was just like,
whoa.
I don't know how I just did that.
And clap for
Adrenaline
you,
kicked in.
Yeah, but I was like, I need to stop playing this game because it's not good for me and my stress levels. Yeah, for me, it's the worst one.
For me personally, I think I like it more than Charged. In our discussion yesterday, which we did record and may release at some point, no plans to right now, but we've talked about it. But we have it just in case somewhere down the road. I said that I don't like charged very much. I don't like the waggle controls. I don't like the goalie minigame that happens like 4 times a match where you have to defend a hyper strike by pointing and defending each individual shot. Yeah, just the Wii era waggle controls don't do it for me in that one. Strikers on GameCube is still my favorite. I love how pick up and play it is. It is still like, I like its tone the best still. When players get literally charred by the electric fence and you've got a Toad running out there who is steaming from the heat. I love that so much. The victory celebrations are the best in that game. I like the hyper strikes the most in that game. It's simpler, like in Charged, you got the sidekicks that each have a different kind of special ability, where in the original they all play more of the same. I prefer that more. Battle League would go second for me, because I love the point I'm at with the gameplay. I love the super competitive online matches. But from the outside, I am not a fan of how hard it is to pick up and play, because this is a game I would love to have friends come over who don't play games all the time. It's just like, oh, want to play Mario Kart? They'll say yes. Want to play this? They'll say no. And to me, that is kind of the final blow in this game, is that in 6 months, when the newness has worn off, and I'm looking at my Switch shelf, I've got a few friends coming over. What are we going to play? Smash, Kart, or the staples? Will this enter the rotation? The answer is no. Nintendo Switch Sports? The answer is yes, because that is a game anyone can play and have fun with. This, the answer is, you got 20 hours to get good at this game? No? Okay. Let's just play Mario Kart.
Even like you know what this game doesn't have is like the game is loading and there's just that picture of the controller. It's like, here's what the buttons do. Instead, It's no, sit down for a half hour and go through every tutorial. Like, do you want to do that? And then we can try having fun.
Yeah. Still have to play 8 players to see if any of these issues are resolved. No one knows what they're doing. Like, there's not computers out there that know what they're doing.
Yeah.
I still do want to try that, but we're putting this one third on the Mario Strikers ladder.
Agreed.
Okay, so Super Mario Strikers Charged, and Mario Strikers Battle League, a series that just gets worse with each entry. Okay. We also went through all the tennis games, and all the golf games, and all the baseball games, and ranked them. Tennis, I'll go through real quick. At number 8 is Mario's Tennis on the Virtual Boy, which only Chris has played. Number 7, Mario Tennis Ultra Smash on the Wii U. Number 6, Mario Tennis Open on the 3DS. Number 5, Mario Tennis on the Game Boy Color. Number 4, Mario Power Tennis on the GameCube and a Wii release with motion controls. Number 3, Mario Tennis Power Tour on the GBA. And then the top 2, we originally had it. Number 1, Mario Tennis Aces. Number 2.
I agree with you.
We're flipping it back?
I think we're flipping it back. Because you made a lot of very salient points earlier today in Discord. And I think you're right. I don't know how Adele feels, but at least that's
cool.
how. Okay. All right.
I was never dying on that hill.
I didn't want to speak for you. That's all.
Yeah, I only said Mario 64 was fun. And I did say the nostalgia factor is riding high with this one. And no one really fought me on it. That's how we ended up there.
So, yeah, when we did the tennis ranking, we kind of agreed Aces was number 1. But then when it got into the overall ranking, Chris was like, no, I can't have Aces above any of these games. So number 2 is now Mario Tennis on the N64. Number 1, Mario Tennis Aces on the Switch, which I think might be a contentious statement that I want to defend right here. Mario Tennis Aces, a year after launch, had the most content of any Mario Tennis console game. I can't speak to the handheld ones that have the good RPG campaigns, but it had an adventure mode, which is not very good, but if you like it, it's there. But then it has online play, it has online tournaments, offline tournaments, ring shot, exhibition matches, a ton of characters, like a massive roster with some deep cuts too. Spike is in this game. Spike in Mario Tennis Aces. It's got great courts.
Dry Bones is in it.
There.
Yep.
Piranha Plant is there. Petey Piranha is back. And in this game,
Fire Piranha Plant is there.
Yeah, which is a weird one. And then the gameplay is seriously one of my favorite sports games to play. the back and forth, the racket management, the energy meter management. Singles is fun, doubles is fun. Aces is the best tennis game. I'm glad that Chris flipped his mind back because I picked up 64 today, and I think with nostalgia glasses on, that game's great. If you're looking at it now, there's nothing in there that Aces doesn't do better.
That's fair.
The only thing I do want to mention is from a, hey, you're having a bunch of people over that don't play games that often standpoint, N64 is the more accessible game.
That is true.
And Aces, not that you can't play Aces that way, but like if you're like the jerk that does know how to play Aces and then you're like breaking everybody's rackets and they're like, what is this? Like, I don't understand what's happening, you know?
Yep, that's me.
Yeah. It kind of stinks.
I respect it, Logan. I respect it.
In that regard, but it is a deeper game.
That's a game where when I play with my friends who do like it, it's like, okay, do I hold back a little bit so this is just a little more fun for everyone? Or do I just go no holds barred, break their rackets? And it changes from day to day which one I choose to do.
You know,
those are
I'm
the
not
tennis
gonna lie.
rankings. Go ahead.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm the guy that plays Smash. And like I do the thing where like I'm not proud. I am. I don't care. Like I'll beat someone really bad, let them come back from their stock, and I won't move. Like I'll just let them choose to approach me, and I love watching them look at the screen and look at me. They're like, "You're just gonna stand there." I'm like, "Yeah, just come on, just bring it."
Come at me, bro.
Like I love doing the whole Matrix thing where it's like, you know, I perfected my roll dodging to a point to where a casual player, I'm just like, no, no. And like it's almost like a training session for me, and like I don't know why. Maybe because I got my spirit broken and I have to pay it forward, but I got to break some people's. I got to let them know where they stand in Smash. Because everyone is always good at Smash before you start playing. Everyone, regardless of skill level, is just a great at Smash. You know, but then there's that one quiet person never says anything, and you're like, I'm not playing with you. You know what you're doing.
That guy's insane.
All right, so that's tennis. Golf ranked number 6. I had high hopes for this game after how much I love Aces when the world was not enjoying Aces. I was there like, this is a gem. I was hopeful for Super Rush. I hate Mario Golf Super Rush. It came in last on our rank.
Yep.
Number 5 was Mario Golf on N64, which Chris very passionately disliked. Number 4 was Mario Golf on the Game Boy Color. Number 3, Mario Golf World Tour on 3DS. Number 2, Mario Golf Advanced Tour on GBA. And number 1, Mario Golf Toadstool Tour on GameCube, which Chris, you went to bat for.
The GOAT!
I didn't hear that entirely cut out, but it looked enjoyable.
I was like, what is going on? I thought like your video was messing up. I was like, oh, that was the goat noise.
I was playing that game last night, and like it's one of those games that I will sit on the couch whenever I boot it back up, and like if Jess is sitting on the couch with me, I just look over, I'm like, are you watching this? This game is a masterpiece. And she's just like rolling her eyes like, oh my God. And I'm like, look at how good this is. Forget about it. It's never been better.
I saw you went golfing for real recently.
I did, and I had my Mario Polo shirt on. I said I got it on the Toadstool Tour.
Oh.
Yeah.
How'd you do in real life?
I'm terrible. It's a great time, though. It's funny, my brother-in-law was driving the golf cart, and I was like, no, I'm going to play like Super Rush. You go ahead. He's like, what? I was like, I'll follow you.
Oh, my God.
I had like a driver and a 9-iron. Like, I didn't have a full set. So I was just like, sprinting after my ball down the course.
All I'm saying is driving the golf cart is is my favorite part of golf. The only good part of golf.
Yeah, Odell, you were very negative on the golf in our
yes.
confidential meeting.
I was. No, again, golf is a game I think people think they're supposed to like because it's associated with business and money. I.e., if I like golf, they're good at business and or money.
You're fancy.
But
you're fancy.
That is not true, people. I'm sorry, it's not true. Like y'all remember when Top Golf came out and people thought it was cool to pay like $150 to shoot golf balls for like half an hour? I was like, I don't get it.
Yep.
Y'all crazy.
I enjoy it. It's like a healthy social thing for me.
the Odell's disdain for golf and Chris's love of it really factored in on our overall top 5, which are almost to the last couple sub-series here. The Mario Baseball series, Superstar Baseball on the GameCube is just not even close. Better than Super Sluggers on the Wii. GameCube did it best in every scenario we ranked except tennis. GameCube does it best. And then the Mario Sports compilation series, we said Sports Mix on Wii was better than Sports Superstars on 3DS, which is not a good game. And then other games just to mention here, Hoops 3-on-3 is a great game, and DDR Mario Mix on GameCube is also an outstanding game. So we talked about those two. But that leads us to our overall top 5.
Whoa, what the? You thought you were gonna get away with it, Mr. Plant. Honorable mention to SSX On Tour and NBA Street Volume 3 on the Nintendo GameCube, where you could play as Mario, Luigi, and Peach.
You know, I just realized this. Mario DDR Edition, the actual name of the game, whatever it is, counts as a sports game, but NBA Street Volume 3 featuring the Mario Superstars doesn't. I feel like that's a stretch. I feel like it's been cheated.
Is Mario in the title of one and not the other?
No, but he's on the box of both of them.
Ooh.
He's on the.
Nice
he's
retort.
literally on the front cover.
Okay.
All 3 of them are.
Yeah.
They're like.
So you get 3 Nintendo characters versus 1.
Okay. I see how it is.
Yeah, you do. You see how it's right. And that it's a stretch to call those Mario Sports games. That leads us to our overall top 5, which is kind of a mess. We looked and we determined the 5 games we wanted in here were 2 tennis games, Tennis on 64, Mario Tennis Aces, Super Mario Strikers on the GameCube, Toadstool Tour on the GameCube, and Superstar Baseball on the GameCube. Chris going to bat for Toadstool Tour, me going to bat for Superstar Baseball. All of us love the original Strikers, and then the tennis series was the other one all 3 of us had the most experience with. But then when it came down to getting these things ranked, it became kind of an issue. Odell saying, I can't have a golf game at number 1. Chris saying, we can't have aces above tennis, even though we agreed it was.
No, I'm pulling back on that. I'm pulling back on that.
And then me saying, I can't have Strikers at number 1 because of its lack of content compared to these other games. So the list we currently have written down is number 5, Mario Tennis Aces, number 4, Super Mario Strikers, number 3, Mario Tennis 64, number 2, Mario Golf Toadstool Tour, and number 1, Mario Superstar Baseball. But then, Chris, you go and play baseball, and you seem to have some thoughts.
That game is fun if you like baseball video games, which I do not. Like, here's the thing. Objectively, that game is a very complete package. Like, I can sit here and say, like, there's a lot of content. It is very deep. Every single character
the roster's enormous.
Yeah, the roster's enormous. Like, the characters that are even in it, I'm like, really? They like clearly they ran out of like characters that they like, you know, were pulling from the well of Super Mario Sunshine. Like I respect how hard Namco went for that game. I think Lakitu as the announcer or the ump in that game is awful. Every single time somebody gets a strike, it's like
it's burned into my head.
The worst sound in the world. I respect that you, especially because I know you love baseball, like love that game. But it is not a game I will ever go back and play. The only reason I played it was because we were talking about it, and I have no desire to ever revisit it. Like I just didn't find it fun at all.
Yeah, but for a baseball fan, like you said, it's incredible. The adventure mode is so good. You go around and get people, you like draft people to your team, and you have to, like, there's a world map in that. Like, that you run around, and it's like detailed and really cool looking still. You have to complete different challenges. There's mini games that are good and up to 4 players. The stadiums are cool. Like, it is maybe the most content rich Mario Sports game.
Yeah.
It is huge. And for that reason, and I love the gameplay, I think it plays really, really well. Are we changing this list?
I feel like I don't have a choice. I feel like baseball has to be one. Odell's been quiet. I don't know if he's going to die on a hill for any of these, though.
I mean, I'm not. I mean, I just feel like based off everyone's the collective boardroom, it probably makes more sense for Aces to be number one. Logically speaking.
I don't disagree with him.
Because it's the only game where we're all like, okay, if we had like a Venn diagram, we're back in high school. It can't be a golf game. You know, it can't be a this. It can't. Aces is the only one that you know, it fits the criteria of like everyone's. It can't.
Like, yeah, like I try to think of like, what is the game that, you know, the family's coming to your house and it's video game night. What are you going to play? If I tell them Mario Baseball, half of them are going to check out by the second inning. Like, if I tell them Toadstool Tour, most of them aren't going to care. They're going to think it's too slow, or they're going to get distracted because they're not playing like all at the same time. Tennis, like tennis and strikers, you have to be engaged the entire time you're playing it. And yeah, I mean, Aces being the most content-rich one, we put it over N64.
That's true. I just struggle to say the best Mario sports game has an adventure mode that I think is actively bad. The single player adventure,
I get that,
is bad.
Yeah, like as a complete package, baseball seems like it. Baseball and Toadstool Tour have it together. They do. I don't have any complaints about Toadstool Tour.
But okay, here's my thing. Here's my thing though. We're talking as a sports game, and I'm thinking this like as like a fighting game. How crucial is your adventure mode though to a game of that nature?
But it's actively bad. Like it's not like
I get what you're saying. I hear you though.
Let me put it this way. And N64 Tennis doesn't have an adventure mode. And I think... See, now I'm going to come back on what I said. Like, this is the problem. Like, I think like that, if I were to look at the sum of all of its parts, N64 is the better game. Because like the single player mode in Aces is so terrible. And everybody like just like zeroed in on it when it came out and played it because there wasn't a whole lot else in there. It is very easy to like look at that game and say that is a problem. Like that is a black spot on that mark. Mm-hmm. And
on the flip side, I love Smash Ultimate. I think World of Light is trash. Like Smash Ultimate's my favorite game.
That's true. That's a good point. That's a good point.
And we even called Mario Tennis Aces. It feels like a fighting game sometimes.
It does
in its gameplay.
Yeah,
that's a better comparison. I like the World of Light comparison because I like. Go ahead.
Yeah. Here's another thing: Mario 64 has 0 online functionality, and it doesn't matter.
Does it on Switch Online though?
No, does it?
Irrelevant.
I was like, crap. But like, it doesn't matter because like it doesn't really need it. It doesn't. Like, I mean, yeah, if it did, I mean, it couldn't at the time. But that doesn't take away.
I'm looking at this. I don't know how we ended up with Tennis 64 above Strikers. Strikers is a better game and has about the same amount of content. I don't know how we ended up there.
I wanted Strikers higher. I was like number 2 or number 3. Y'all were like, no. And I was like, well, I've been outvoted.
All right.
We're running short on time.
Here's what I'm thinking.
Hammer this out.
Even though Odell's never played it, and I don't even like it, but Logan's the host, so forget it.
I don't know. We're all equal. We're all equal in the boardroom.
I think you put Tennis Aces at number 1. I do.
That is insane.
He almost died right there.
It's that. It's that, or you don't rank them. They all like. The only one on here that I have a problem with is baseball, and we're talking about putting it at number 1. It's the only one of these I don't like.
All right, hear me out. I concede that baseball hits a niche audience, but it hits that audience hard. Here's what I think the order should be.
Wait, can I say one more thing before you go?
Yeah.
Baseball is the only game that we haven't gotten another version of since the Wii era.
Yep.
Maybe there's a
With
reason.
Strikers coming out just now. Yeah, baseball. I said baseball is on sport. It is on Sports Superstars,
Oh, okay.
but it's
okay.
bad.
Yeah.
It's horrible there. No, I think that the reason is they didn't even put sluggers out in Europe. That was a Japan and North America product only.
I don't think baseball's very big in Europe, right?
It's not.
Yeah.
It doesn't exist.
Yeah.
They got cricket.
Over there. Yeah.
Mario Cricket. Let's go.
Here's what I think the order should be. I don't even think Tennis 64 should be on this list. I think that should be DDR Mario Mix. I think that is a way better game. But if we're sticking to the 5 we have, I'll put that at 5. Then I think Super Mario Strikers is 4. I think Baseball is 3. I think Toadstool Tour is 2. And I think Aces is 1. And I think that's what we roll with. How do we feel?
It's perfect. It's a perfect
I bet
list.
anyone listening to this hates this list.
First of all, for all my people, why Strikers number 4 out there? I don't know either, but I am about the peace.
Where do
It
you
comes down to content.
Where do you
For Strikers, it comes down to content.
if you had your choice, Odell, where would you put it?
Honestly, I feel like Strikers needs to be at 3. I'm not saying who goes in 4. I'm just saying Strikers feels like the good middle of the pack. Like it's lacking in content, but I feel like it's only second in fun to Aces.
All right, I think Strikers is 2 then. I only wouldn't put it 1 because of its lack of content. I think it can be 2 because you said it, Chris. If the folks are coming over, what are you more likely to
Strikers is the game.
play? Yeah.
I've played
All right.
multiplayer Toadstool Tour maybe twice.
People
And I
don't
played that
ever
game a
listen to
lot.
the bonus episode. The literal first thing I said is Strikers is not good enough to be 1. It should be 2.
Yep.
And these 2 ran
we
me
are.
through the ground.
You got us there, though. How do we feel about this? Number 5, DDR. Mario
DDR.
Mix.
Do DDR. Do DDR.
Yes.
Do DDR.
Yes.
We're all compromising, so you're right.
Yeah.
We'll give you DDR.
I played Tennis 64 for like 30 minutes today, and I don't know if I'll ever play it again. I was not impressed with that game today. Number 5, DDR Mario Mix. Number 4, Mario Superstar Baseball. It fell a long way, but I got DDR, so I'll accept it. Number 3, Golf Toadstool Tour. Number 2, Strikers. Number 1, Mario Tennis Aces.
One of the
I like
worst one of the worst reviewed Mario sports games. Is our number 1. I love it.
It's underrated.
It
and I've been
is.
saying
No,
that
it
for
is.
years, and I'm glad that's on the record now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, we
Man,
have it.
I want to say this is the definitive list. We're gonna get like a Wikipedia page off this list.
Oh, I'm gonna
Wow,
make. I'm
we
making.
solved
I'm gonna make Instagram slides for us. You know, we're gonna have a nice little slideshow on there.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. This will live in
So-
perpetuity.
So now the question is, the whole point of creating this is, does Strikers Battle League fit on this list? Let's all vote.
No.
Okay, short discussion there.
Can we get a
But
gavel?
now, whenever a new game comes out, we now have this to return to talk about where the new entry fits in. Battle League, we ranked as the worst in the series of the 3, which is a shame, but that's just where it fell. Mario Tennis Aces has been crowned as the best Mario sports game. I didn't expect that when we started recording.
No, I didn't either.
But I'm thrilled.
This is
I'm
how
thrilled.
democracy works.
Everyone gets something, they're like, well, all right, I'm not happy with that.
Yeah.
But it's not the worst option. All right, that's going to do it for this installment of the Toadstool Boardroom. Thanks so much for listening. Another episode in the books. You can find us on Twitter at ToadstoolBR. Please email us your favorite Mario sports game at toadstoolboardroom@gmail.com. You can find Odell on Twitter at
Odell Harmon Jr.
You can find Chris at
Shrives93.
and I am at Logan J. Plant. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll catch you next week with more in the Toadstool Boardroom.